1 Peter 3. I'm gonna try to get the whole church here next week for this husband-wife stuff, which is gonna be fun. 1 Peter 3, verse 7. Likewise, husbands, and we're going to deal with this more next week, okay? We're just looking at this part. Husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way. That word's literally knowing, in a knowing way. Showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. There's a lot to see here, by the way. Like it says, so that your prayers may not be hindered. You don't see that in Scripture very, very often. Like if men doesn't treat their wife right, then they're hindered is the word like there's a wall there. Like your prayers go up and they hit a wall. Like they never make it because you're treating your wife poorly. But obviously the big thing there is showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. Okay, I did a fairly deep dive into the Greek here and the word weaker and the word vessel. Now the word weaker is pretty complex. It means the same thing that we mean in English, right? It means weaker, and so it could mean physical. It could mean anything that our word weak means. Most scholars, all the scholars really lean and say it probably just means physical. That's probably what it's referring to, is weaker bodied, that you're physically weaker than men. That's sort of that's at least what it means. Could it mean more than that? It could. We don't know. It doesn't. There's nothing in the language, in the context, maybe, that lets us know what it means exactly. Now, the word vessel is the same as the word jar or vase. That's what that word means. It's used elsewhere to talk about us as vessels of God's mercy, but it's in the same context. The word literally means, if you just look it up in a lexicon, which is like a dictionary for Greek, it would just say jar. That would be the jar or vessel. Okay, so this is what I think is being said here. And you take this for what that's worth. This is what I think is likely in view, at least maybe in view. I don't know, it sounds cool. Okay, this is something here that we are showing honor to. Okay, showing honor to in a way that you don't show honor to men. Okay, so we have that. Show honor to the weaker vessel. Show honor to the woman. This showing of honor is particular. It's being done for the woman by the man. By the way, just kind of high view here. The main message of this verse is that men cannot, should not take advantage of the authority they've been given. That's a little head foreshadowing. They shouldn't take advantage of what they've been given. And if they, okay, we'll get there. Okay, so weaker vessel. So we have this thing that's being showed honor to, and we have this idea of weaker, which I'm going to see here more of like in a way of, weaker vessel. Here's a picture I want to give you. Okay, that I think is, I don't know if it's directly in view, but I think is a good representation of what's being said. It's like at home when like the good friends come over, and mom gets out the good china. You know what I mean? Like there's that stuff. We don't have good china anymore. It's a generational thing, but maybe you old ladies do. And it's like up in the cupboard, and nobody ever uses it. We had some growing up. I mean, I don't know if we ever used it, but I remember having dishes that we just didn't use. You know those dishes? Like there's those. We have glasses, and that's as fancy as we get. Is we have glasses that are actually glass, and those stay up on top, and we don't use those. Right? Kids aren't allowed to use them. They stay away. And in all those cases, they're giving this special place of honor that's only being. These things are only to be used in the best times, because we are showing them honor. So we put them away from the reach of the careless ones, and we treat them with an honor that we don't treat with the other things. Okay, I think what's probably largely in view is that the man should be treating the woman as the bale of the ball, as the climax of creation that she is, as the one that deserves honor in a way that men don't. And here's what I mean. Like the cups we actually use at home are plastic. And that's if we're feeling. I mean, they're paper half the time, but the cups we use are like I have a Braves cup that's plastic. It has some Braves writing on it. It's pretty cool. The kids can use that one. You know why? Because if they throw it against the wall, it's not gonna break. And more importantly, even if it did, I wouldn't care that much. Right? It's a question of it's a question of showing honor to one thing and the other. And so I think there's this picture here of manhood in a lot of ways is like the plastic Braves cup, where men are often more bouncy when they fall, tend to endure those rough handlings. It's not clear lines, but you understand what I'm saying. In general, those rough handlings tend to handle them better, and therefore, in some sense, require less honor. And alternatively, the men, those plastic cups, are to put in a position of honor and treat with a position of honor the women who may handle those falls less gracefully, bouncefully, I should say, but are far more beautiful and honorable even in some sense. So I think that's the idea here of it saying showing honor, right? This is something you show honor to, and you showing an honor is directly tied to it being the weaker vessel. Just like I think you would show honor to those things because they are the delicate, better cupware. And us men are just better at, being not worth as much and bouncing around and stuff. Okay, so I think plastic cup versus fine china is not bad. I think that's decent to what's being said here. That's the idea of weaker vessel. I think physical strength is certainly in view and plays a role in how men are to relate to women, etc.